that we're going to provide you with some really good information, and hopefully you'll be motivated to make some changes in your life. And lucky for you, we're going to give you some action items at the end of the podcast. So if you're motivated to do that, you can. So stick around to the end.
Stick around to the end. I'm Coach Brandon. If you're with us live on Facebook, give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you're here. The thumbs up dance. If you're not following us on Facebook, we appreciate you listening. But you can be part of the discussion over here in our Facebook community.
Yes.
So don't hesitate. Come over.
Yeah.
Hang out with us. All right. What are we talking about? We're talking about metabolism.
Yes. We are in the middle of our 8-week habit reset right now.
We are.
And last week, one of our members asked us a very interesting question. And then a few days later, it came up again with one of your personal training clients.
Comes up a lot.
So we thought we'd just talk about that today. And this was the question. Does eating right away when I wake up in the morning kickstart my metabolism? Now, what comes to mind when you hear that, Brandon?
A few things. I mean, a lot of stuff comes up. Like, one, that's not really how our metabolism works.
Right.
So, like, that's the big question. Like, should I eat first thing in the morning? I've read, blah, blah, blah. And that's not how it works. So our bodies receive all kinds of let's get up and go messages in the morning.
Yes.
And eating can disrupt that. So the first thing though, like I want to say is like, this is how I really, used to think, because I grew up with that information, but I still kind of use this language sometimes, right? Like fire up your metabolism. When I say that though, what I'm talking about is how to provoke our metabolism into action long term, right? How to make our metabolism efficient long term by giving our body cues to expend energy.
Yeah, that's important.
Right? Yes. So these kind of conversations always make me think about how we're really designed. Right. So we can't outsmart our bodies.
Fair.
Right. Like they're very, very smart. And there are, billion-dollar industries around doing exactly that. Right. Trying to outsmart our bodies.
I have noticed that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's all the supplement industry is all about that. Right. And then there's a new thing, every 6 months, it seems. Yeah. About how to trick our bodies into doing this or doing that, and it's not really how it works. So trying to the best thing we can do is understand our bodies and work with them instead of trying to fight them.
Yeah.
All right.
Totally.
And so trying to trick your metabolism, but like it's sort of, I don't know. So what happens is we end up like initiating the reward center when we eat right away in the morning. Yep. So I know that's kind of a shift in gears, but I'm going to jump right into it. Like,
it's true.
So instead of like firing up your metabolism, what you do is you kind of awaken those hunger centers in the brain. Your brain's like suddenly like, oh, we don't have to go out and get food. We have food. And we should eat it.
Yeah, let's have more of that. It was really good.
Okay, so like hunter-gatherers, like if we think about like how we're really designed, like, we're not meant to immediately wake up and eat. Like we don't have just stores of food all the time, right? Like you didn't have a refrigerator.
Back when we had tribes.
Yeah. So upon wakening, right, we have all these neurotransmitters and hormones that tell us like, wake up, move, go get your food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Time to hunt.
Go hunt, go gather. Yep. So you can't really trick that.
Right. And, I hear a lot of chatter, especially when people are trying to go on a diet, or especially when they're trying to lose weight, about tricking your metabolism, right? And you touched on it a bit just now, but what people don't understand is that your metabolism isn't necessarily something you want to mess around with, or you really want to trick out all the time the way we think you can, right?
Right.
That's
You
not
don't want
good for
to.
you.
No, when you start messing with your body and sending it weird messages, like it's made to adapt, right? So, it's like starvation, right? Like or severe calorie restriction, right? looks good on the outside. It works for a minute, right? But then it screws up your metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're really in trouble because your body's like, whoa, not enough. We're not getting enough. So the same thing, this goes the other way, right?
Yeah.
It can be really damaging. Our body's whole goal in life is to maintain homeostasis, right? Cope with change, right? Keep you the same in an ever-changing environment, right? So you're not going to just trick that long term. You're not going to fool it. You might trick it for a minute, but it's going to catch on and it will adjust and not in the way that you want it to,
right? First, think to yourself while you're listening to this if that sounds familiar to anyone. So let us know if that's similar to your experience. And another way that seems very popular with the intended effect of being to trick your metabolism is what you talked about, calorie restriction, which I'm not going to dive too deep into the weeds of that today. But there are lots of people who use this form of dieting to make their metabolism, what a word, metabolism work harder. And the theory is that if you're taking in fewer calories, your metabolism is going to kick in, right? And it's going to start burning excess fat because you're not taking in as much fuel, aka food. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'll totally get into those weeds. Like that's the classic problem. Calorie restriction method of weight loss, right?
Yeah.
You restrict calories, lose some weight. Your body doesn't like that and responds by slowing your metabolism down. Making you super tired and conserving energy, right? You're not getting enough energy, so we're going to save this energy. Where do we save energy? In our asses, right? Like all over us,
exactly.
Right?
I was like, well, I know where mine is.
Yeah. So, now you're eating less, burning less, feeling crappy, gaining weight. Like worst situation ever.
Yeah. Right? And some newer research even suggests that what you're talking about and that shows long-term calorie restriction actually decreases your resting metabolic rate or your RMR, if you see that anywhere.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about.
And your RMR is what, basically suppressing that and damaging it can inhibit your body's ability to burn calories just in general, not excess calories, but just sitting here talking to you guys, it changes how my body burns calories.
Yeah, that whole why am I so tired? Right? Like all the time. Just sitting here doing nothing. I didn't do anything today, but I'm just exhausted. Yeah, your body's like, yeah, we're freaking out.
Yep.
You don't eat enough, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna have to change things up a little bit.
Yeah. So a lot of people think that you can kind of that there are diets or ways to trick your metabolism into speeding up like day to day, right? And burning more fat so you can lose weight faster, but it doesn't always work for people, right? I mean, if I don't know, if all of it worked, everyone would do it, right? Like, yeah. So there's been research, like I know there was some research done at Harvard said that supported when it comes to weight loss and your metabolism plays a smaller role than you think and is actually more related to your poor diet and to inactivity.
What a surprise. That actually leads me right into my next question for you. Are you ready? Okay. So I've also heard from many people in my life that this whole debate about metabolism comes up and how to trick it, and that the reality is you can't control your metabolism at all. That's what people say. You can't control your metabolism at all. There's nothing you can do. So that's why you can't trick it. Is that true that you can't control your metabolism at all?
Control. Yeah, I don't... Yeah, so I think what the problem is the day-to-day thing. People think that I'm going to wake up and do this and, I can be on this, certain kind of diet. I think we need to get rid of just that thinking, like that tricking your metabolism. We don't need to fool our bodies.
No, I hate that. Tricking your metabolism.
Yeah. Yeah, you can create a spreadsheet and, schedule things to eat or things to do at certain times of the day, but
no, thank you.
To get your metabolism working exactly how you want it to, but you have to you do have control over how quickly your body burns calories, so everyone has that RMR, that resting metabolic rate, and there are things that you can do that have a positive effect on that.
Yes.
right? That tell your body like it's okay to expend some energy, right? So if
Yeah.
you don't eat enough, that is one of the things that's going to be affected immediately.
Yeah. And
Right.
I was actually
And
really, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say like, sorry, like the rest and, we have rest and digest mode, right?
Mhm.
Like, and then we have fight or flight mode, and the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. Right. And so when you activate that like rest and digest mode immediately,
Mhm.
right, your body is not all about burning calories,
No,
right? It
it
is
is not.
not about spending energy.
It's about resting and
It's about
digesting.
resting and digesting. You should not do that immediately upon awakening. That is not what your
No.
body wants to do. That
No.
is get up and burn those calories time.
Yeah.
So that's the main issue I have with this kind of this if we obey that, then, right?
Mhm.
If we get up, our problem is we get up and we do what we eat,
Mhm.
and then we go to work and sit down.
Yep.
All
Not what we're
right.
supposed to do at
All
all.
right. And our body is just like, well, what the hell? I guess we're not doing anything today.
Well, and that the RMR, the resting metabolic rate, was something I was really happy to learn about when I started lifting weights and focusing on building muscle, because what I learned was strength training is something that definitely helps your body burn calories at a higher rate. And so I noticed a lot of things change with me as I increased my muscle mass, but burning calories in a resting state was just absolutely mind-blowing for me as I saw that number go up, and I was eating a little bit more, and I couldn't believe that that was happening. But on that note, do you know what time it's for?
What time it's for?
Yeah.
What time it is?
What time it is?
What time it is?
Do you know what time it is?
It must be dirty action time.
It
That's
is
your
action
favorite.
time. Yes. So this is my favorite part because, as you know, you should be feeling super motivated right now to do something that will make a healthy change in your life. All this talk about tricking your metabolism and resting metabolic rate and doing all that stuff.
Right. Great info,
and we always know that baby steps is the answer, right?
Mm.
And while I have a feeling that's exactly what's coming from this one over here in a hot second, I want to interject first and talk about something that's super important when it comes to action items this week. Since most people try to trick or mess with their metabolism, for lack of a better description, it's usually because they want to lose weight, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing that I want everyone who's listening to this to do is remind themselves to be patient with themselves. Real sustainable weight loss, real weight loss, long-term weight loss does not happen overnight. So being patient and focusing your energy on being consistent rather than focusing on the outcome of losing weight, that's my personal action item for the week. And now that I've dominated everything, Brandon, what's one small baby step people can take to affect their metabolism?
That's really good. I want to piggyback on that for a second. Like, we have this like super American thing that we do, like get ready for summer, right? And we start like getting ready for summer in like
March.
Maybe. Yeah.
January.
May. More like May. People start going like, oh shit, summer's coming. Like, I gotta get ready.
Fair.
Like, and really like, these are things that take time. It's okay to be in the body that you're in. I know like that is really, really tough for some people. I don't want to minimize that. But yeah, give yourself some grace. We get into this like, I got to lose weight like by next month, and then every workout is like ultra important, and if we miss one, it's the end of the world. Like, let's take it easy on ourselves a little bit. It does not happen overnight. I'm going to name an action item that might surprise people a little bit, because we always think about diet and exercise, especially when it comes to metabolism.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with rest and stress reduction here. Yeah. Which I realize could be their own topics.
That's
but
so
I
different.
Think most of us know what we need to do with our diets and exercise. Like, get consistent, like, focus more on what you eat as opposed to like how many calories you eat. Get consistent with your exercise. Don't worry about, what kind of exercise necessarily. Just do whatever you like to do consistently. But the thing about rest is, if you don't get enough of it, your body is going to respond like it does to calorie restriction. It's going to start trying to conserve energy.
Gotcha.
Right? Remember, energy equals calories. So you're going to have that hormone response telling your body to conserve energy. That's why you're tired.
Gotcha.
Right. And
That makes sense.
Yeah, to store energy. Right. And we talked about where we store energy, how we store energy. So, stress is similar in the sense that it basically tells your body to, to create a physical response to the stress. But we don't do that because modern stress isn't physical anymore. Right. Our stress used to be like, holy shit, there's an animal chasing me. Right. There was some sort of threat to our survival. That's our stress.
Yeah, that's fair.
But then we're like, no, but this threat to my survival, it's my kid's kindergarten teacher, and I'm not, or my kid, right?
Kid.
And I can't murder them. So like we have to we don't have a physical response to it. It's an emotional thing. And for the most part. So instead of running or fighting, all that energy that your body is like, oh, we got to respond to this. We don't respond.
Right.
We sit down and eat bonbons.
Certainly what I do.
So, and then, now that energy has nowhere to go. It goes into storage, creates other problems. We have the whole cortisol and insulin balance thing. So, I'm gonna rest.
That's an interesting. I'm gonna take that action item to heart this week and find some time for some rest.
Reducing stress is a whole other talk.
It is
super important, but I think we will save that for another time.
Fair point, though.
We're gonna get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
All right, we love you guys.
We do.
Keep coming back. Yeah, do what you guys do. Being super supportive of each other out there. We see it. Love that. That's what makes this all worth it for us. And so keep doing that. Show up for each other.
Yeah.
Even in small ways, right? Even if it's just like smiling.
For sure.
And if you could use a smile, like raise your hand, right? I got a big cheesy one. All right. Let us know if we can help. Do reach out. We're happy to talk, and we love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.